What's up guys, Tesla rental guy. Ironically enough, this is not a Tesla. This is the Lucid Air Pure. It's a 2023, I wanna say. It was actually our first Lucid in our fleet. And we're gonna go through 5 big things, what my favorite features are on the car, how it drives, suggestions if you look on buying a Lucid, and just overall my feel if it's a good buy for if you, whether you're renting the car out or whether you're buying a car for yourself. So the first thing when you look at a Lucid, you're gonna notice, it's very Tesla-like, as I would say. They have these little pop-out door handles. Mechanism-wise, they operate completely differently, but it has a massive back seat. I would compare that to the Model S in that way, but probably even bigger here with the Lucid. The next thing you're gonna have is something that's an odd feature, I think, in my opinion, is the actual trunk space. It's very awkward, but it has a lot of space. You can see just how deep it goes into there. I mean, you could fit 3 or 4 bodies in there probably. And you have this under space. I would say my thing I don't like about it is because the fitting overall. It seems like it catches this trim right here. Just the way the trunk opens kind of throws me off. Plenty of space for luggage, I guess, but just if anything's too tall, it's not gonna fit in there. Second thing, and this is a quality thing, and I pointed this out to Lucid when we got the car. If you can tell, it actually looks like it warps right here in this little glass area. It's probably less obvious now. There's a bunch of like micro scratches, but when we first got the Tesla or the Lucid, it has a bunch of very small dents, and it's like basically the plastic is warping. So quality control thing. It was one of the first Lucids. You can give them a pass on that. And obviously with every other EV in the history of the world, there is a frunk. And see if I can get it to open. It's janky. This thing doesn't work. Is half the problem. And I'll get into that. For whatever reason, these keys are really finicky. We have to go in here to open the frunk. We've had a lot of issues with these. Tesla didn't have that issue, in my opinion, when we first got started. Here we go. Nice, clean, big frunk. See, this is what a frunk should be, holistically. I think Tesla doesn't do as good a job. It looks like it's a little dirty in here, probably needs to get vacuumed out a little bit better. But that's a very large size frunk, rather. That's pretty much it for the exterior. These rims are not covers. These are about as hard as it freaking gets. It honestly didn't feel good right there. It kind of looks like it would be a cover and peel off. That is not. That is the actual alloy rim. What do you say? These are 20 inches? 19 inch rim, give or take. They have the Lucid branding. Nothing special to me. I don't like that flat, bulky rim style. But let's go take this on a drive quick. I'll give you guys some of my quick feedback on how it drives, the pros and cons of this freaking key, and just my overall experience so far of owning it for over a year. We are inside the Lucid. We have the key. One thing I appreciate about other cars sometimes is that, like in the Audis and your BMWs, there's usually a spot for your key if you're gonna be given something like this. There is not in this car, and it goes flying and it gets lost in these crevices. So first world problems, just throw it back there and figure it out later. One thing that's unique about the Lucid, everyone gets caught by this, but they seem to figure it out faster than the Tesla doors, is this is a pull switch handle. So you kind of pull this back, door pops open, you're all good to go. I have not seen that in any other car, so that's unique. One thing that I thought would have broken by now, to be honest, is this screen. And there was a lot of people posting about that they were having issues with the screen. We have not, fortunately. And this comes back, again, by just touching that. That's kind of cool. I like that, but any moving part in a car is most likely to break. Alcantara headliner. This is cool. I do think that if you don't get it detailed right, or if you have someone say hypothetically smoke in the car, I don't think that's happened much in this car. This is very difficult to clean. But if you're owning the car personally, you're gonna take good care of it. This is a super cool material. It feels plush, it feels high end. So let's take this out on a drive. This one has 11,000 miles on it. So like I said, it's in pretty good condition, but let's see what we got. Overall, this car is extremely heavy relative to the Model S, I wanna say, right? You can feel that on the drive. I don't think this has an air suspension though. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't get the air suspension vibes. Like that's a pretty good sized bump, and you can definitely feel it. The car does have, though, 3 settings to drive it in, and it's smooth, swift, and sprint, I think, which is hilarious because it's not that fast of a car. If you click sprint, it says sprint activation is recommended only by skilled and advanced drivers. I am a skilled and advanced driver. So that is for me. We're gonna pull out in front of this car because it's gonna try to kill us, and we'll have to take off, and we're good to go. So we just did 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and they were probably trying to be upset at us. The car does have some get up and go. That was pretty fast. Yeah, not too bad. But it doesn't have the same like velocity as a Plaid. Do you know what the 0 to 60 on this thing is? I wanna say 3. Lucid Air Pure. Let's do an active lookup. I wanna guess 3.1. If I'm right, I get a free coffee tomorrow for myself. But it's 3.1. It's not slower than that. It's 4.5. That feels faster than 4.5. I don't know how I feel about that. There's no way that's accurate. There's no way that was 4 seconds. Okay, 3.6. What did you say?
3.3.
Who is posting this content out here and saying 4.5? Some random blog, but Car and Driver says it's 4.5. I trust Car and Driver and Motor Trend. You should probably just go to Lucid's website. Either way, that sounds about right. 3.6. They're pros. Fantastic to drive. I agree, that was pretty quick. Up to 410 miles of range. I believe this thing does have that. We can go into here, we can go into displays, and then go to units, and go distance. 329 miles, 80%, do the math, 60 more miles of range. Yeah, this is 400-ish miles of range. That's solid. I don't think Lucid is very accurate, similar to Tesla, though. I have driven this once to go longer distances, and we've gotten feedback from renters that overall it is not an accurate range. Like, you're not really gonna get 400 miles, but you might get 330 miles, which is, in my opinion, more than enough. We do have a maniac driver here in this yellow car, and she's texting and driving, so that is super exciting. Welcome back to Phoenix, guys, if you haven't been here before. Steering wheel, it's the shape that I enjoy. I like it when it's flat on the bottom. The new Model S rounded steering wheels, the Model X, are very similar to this. Is the new Highland
Somewhat curved.
somewhat curved in the bottom? Yeah, this flat steering wheel, I really appreciate that feel. And I think there's for two reasons. Obviously, you know what's up and what's down on your steering wheel, but when you can really feel where you're at in your turn based on the curve of the wheel. And your leg doesn't hit the freaking steering wheel. First of all, I am 6 foot tall. Jeeves might be 6'5". I am not. But my legs always hit this, and it's because I sit so close to the steering wheel, and I drive like an old man. But if I don't want to let go of the gas right now, but like you can see right here, my legs get all caught up, and maybe I should sit lower. Maybe I should sit farther away. I like sitting with a bent knee, and if you're like that at all, then this steering wheel is, you're going to be in favor of that. One unique thing, we're not going to turn the music so we don't get striked out by YouTube, but the volume bar is right here. I say that because it's not intuitive that this is the volume bar to me. And if I get into this car and I haven't driven it for a while, I like kind of panic looking for how to turn up and down the music, because these are not. This, okay, this is the volume bar. I was thinking it wasn't. Maybe I think this isn't the volume bar. I think it's one of these and I can't find it. But this is a weird, odd little volume toggle that, in my opinion, could just be buttons. We have Apple CarPlay on this car. It does not fit the full screen. It's one of those weird augmented, perfectly squared Apple CarPlays. It really should take up the whole entire main screen. It does not, or even better, it should operate right here. I think that'd be a really cool Apple CarPlay feature, to have this be the area where the apps sit. Obviously, that's not how this is set up, but that would be a cool feature. The extra controls, I would call it, which are very hidden and makes it even more confusing as a first-time driver, are here on the far left. And you can probably see this right here. You have the lock, you have the unlock, you have the charge port, you have your light systems, you have the frost and defrost options right there. That is not intuitive at all. I struggle with finding that if I haven't been in this car in a while. So I put mine in perspective of a first-time driver. You know, if you're renting this car, what's difficult to find? Unfortunately, a lot of these things are somewhat difficult to find. We have this little middle console, pretty standard. Don't think this charges your phone. This just holds your phone. I'm sure if you get a higher trim level, that would in fact actually charge your car. I think that maybe the left side, that's what it is. Only one of the two sides charges your phone.
Phone doesn't fit.
Let me see. No way, with your case doesn't fit? Yeah, see, oh, it's charging. So if you have any sort of case on it, you might not be able to charge your phone there. That little design mechanism could be opened up a little bit more. It would make more sense. Wow, it's like a, wow, look at that. Do you put your camera in there? Do you feel that? There's like actually a piece. I get it, it's to hold your phone in place, right? It's actually difficult to get your phone in there. Wild. Yeah, noise. I don't hear much road noise. I'm like, and that is, maybe I'm just super used to it now from driving EVs. I don't really complain about that to begin with. I do though complain about rattles. And if you've noticed in this drive, there is not very many rattles in this car. It actually, build quality interior seems high. It is $100 and some $1,000 car, so I hope to God they can figure out the build quality on that. But the Model S, they haven't yet, right? There's still some small issues. So this is, I would say that's high end on that side. So overall, the Lucid does, I think, kind of align with the Model S in terms of drivability. It's a very smooth drive. I think part of that is just the weight. It is a massive car. I mean, you can just tell from the back seat. It's made to transport people. That's what it comes down to. I think that's the big difference between a Plaid and a Model S rather, and a Lucid Air, is that this car feels almost like Cadillac-ish, right? This is made for your grandparents or your parents that have, kids, and this is gonna have all that space in the back. And it's not that sporty on the outside, but it's super luxurious and unique, right? That gives me Cadillac vibes. The Tesla Model S does not give me Cadillac vibes. That gives me some sort of sporty sedan, maybe a Mercedes competitor, like that kind of, like you're not gonna buy a C63 and call it a family car. You're not gonna buy a Model S Plaid and call it a family car. But I think you could buy a Lucid Air Pure and easily fit 3 full-grown kids back there, all their soccer gear, and you'd be very happy with it. And the question comes to charging. If you have a home charger at your house, to be honest, it doesn't really matter what the range is, what charging systems you have. You pretty much will mostly keep this car 99% of the time within a 400 or 200 mile range of your house, called 150 miles range, whether your commute is. So for that reason, I don't care if Lucid doesn't use Tesla's chargers in the future. I think Electrify America is very below average, but this car has enough range where you have a lot of flexibility. And as long as you have a home charger that's level 2, you're gonna figure out a lot of those problems yourself. That being said, taking this on long distance, it's gonna take a while to charge. If you don't have a Tesla type system, you're gonna have to be dealing with Electrify America I think this car has a pretty fast charge rate, but I've never stopped Electrify America station that says 350 kilowatts and you get true 350 kilowatts. It just does not exist. I am not convinced that possibility is even there. So for that reason, if I had to decide between a Lucid still and a Model S, I would still choose a Model S. And that comes with experiences from renters, that comes with experience from us having the cars. I think they're just farther along in the process. But if you are a Lucid fan and you say, for example, don't like Elon, that's fine. This is the best alternative. There's not a better secondary sedan in the EV market that I would go to. I'm not going to the EQS. I'm not going to any of the Genesises. Like, this is, I would say, the second best full EV in this higher price point, and the drive quality reflects that, the speed reflects that, build quality of the interior and how everything feels. This represents your next best option. So I appreciate you guys. We do have another video in here where Ben talks about the floor mats that he got sponsored with for this car, and I think he has some personal review aspects to the car, right? Click on that down here, and he will give you his perspective on his thoughts of this Lucid Air.